welcome to Hedgehog Hollow. My name's Alexandra and today I'm going to be working with alcohol inks alongside my new Spellbinders Platinum 6 machine and these beautiful Snowflake dies that they provided me with. I'm going to be showing you how to create a wonderful glitter shaker for that holiday season. So let's get started. So the first thing I have here is a piece of Yupo paper, and that is an acrylic paper. So it's actually plastic paper. You can move it around, it's really difficult to tear, and it will take whatever you throw at it. It's not great for watercolouring because there's no absorbency to take the paint in, but with acrylic paints or with alcohol inks, it's perfect. So the first technique we're going to be doing is a droplet technique. So I have here the indigo, so I'm just going to put some drops of ink down. And you'll find that they spread out a little bit on their own, and then we're going to spray them to make them really spread out. So there's some indigo. Let's add some mermaid. And we'll also have some sailboat blue. And we'll add some mixative as well. So here I have silver and I have pearl, or alternatively I have the snow cap. And if like this one, it's you can't hear the ball moving about, then you can just put your craft pick in there or a pin and move it around. I'm just going to see if any of these have the ball. They do. I'm with the silver. So that's how you should hear it going. And that will mix the metallic back into the mixative. And again, I'm just going to put some bits down. Okay. Then I have a mini mister that I have filled with alcohol blending solution, and I'm going to start gently spritzing. You can also use isopropyl alcohol. So you can see how it starts to spread out. And then I'm going to add a little bit of the blue, the sailboat blue, onto my felt piece. This is the Ranger alcohol ink tool with some felt on. And I'm just going to start dabbing just to spread it out a little bit. I kind of worked with it and then I heat dried it. When you heat dry, I would go with the Ranger Heat It tool rather than your embossing heat tool. And that's why I use the Yupo paper rather than photo paper, because if you use photo paper, it would bubble and ruin your background. You'll have also noticed I did it quite gingerly on and off. That's because it's an alcohol ink. I don't want it to ignite with all the heat. And also you'll have noticed how it activated all of those wonderful bits of the colourless blender, the blending solution that I put in there. Now the other fun thing that you can do with alcohol inks while that is just finishing up drying is I have a piece of the Tonic foil silver cardstock that I'm going to be using for my matting layer. And because it is non-porous, because it's got that foil background, we can also add the alcohol ink to it. So this is the same pad that I used previously, and we can add some really fun textures and things to it. And you may be able to hear our painters upstairs. We're having the house repainted after the flood. So you can also get some really fun textures in there. Again, you could spray it with the blender. You could add some mixatives to it. We could even add some blender to our piece of foam. And you can see when you dab it on how it will start bringing some of those colour patches out and moving that colour around and giving us some really fun watermarks. So every piece you do with alcohol inks is going to be different, and I'm going to leave that as our matting layer to be in the background. So again, I'm just going to pop that to the side to dry. Clear up wise, I have this Ranger Craft mat that I have for my alcohol inks. You can see it's got plenty of use on it previously, and I have alcohol prep pads. Just buy these in a box on Amazon. And you can see how easy it makes you clear up. It clears up your table and it will clear up any alcohol ink mess. They're also great for cleaning the inside of your stamp platforms. Anything that needs a good clean, you can see it picks all of that straight up as well. So here I have my Spellbinders Platinum 6 machine that you saw me unbox the other day, and I'll link that video up for you. This is our panel, and on the back I have some Elizabeth Craft adhesive to make it easy to make our shaker. And I'm going to be using the Holiday Shapeabilities from Spellbinders, and then you get 5 in this pack of the dies. They're all steel dies and in the traditional Spellbinders gold. And I'm going to be cutting that out of our panel here. So I'm going to line this up where we want to cut, ready for our shaker, and I'm going to have my snowflake towards the bottom here. So I have my piece of alcohol ink art, and then I have my die, and then I have my platform and my one cutting mat underneath. I'm going to put my other one on top, and I'm going to roll that through. And if you've got any alcohol ink on there, just take one of those alcohol prep pads and that will come off really easily. Scooch that one back. Now we can pull off our die. And then I'm going to pull out these pieces. So I'm now going to weed this so that I just have the outlines. So now we're ready to make our shaker. So I have the cutout piece here. We need this as well. So I'm going to stick this onto a piece of acetate. And this is actually heat embossable acetate, so you could apply all sorts of fun things to this. You could even alcohol ink this surface if you wanted to. I'm going to apply that on there. And then I have our snowflake that we cut out, and I'm going to layer this back in again. So I peeled the backing layer off of this already. And I'm going to start by a bottom piece, and then the sides, and then I'll do the middle piece. There we go. And now I'm just going to trim my acetate to the same size. Now you could do that with your paper trimmer, or I find with scissors works absolutely fine. If you go up against your Yupo paper or cardstock, whatever you have there, you'll find that gives you a fairly good guide, and it will resist you cutting into your other pieces. So that's cut down to size. Now the next thing we want to do is grab one of our powder tools. So I have my embossing powder tool here, and I'm going to powder pretty liberally all over the back. And this is going to stop the static for the glitter to stick to it. Next I'm going to grab my foam strips, and I still prefer the Stampin' Up! Foam strips for my shakers. And I'm going to first of all outline that square that we cut out, like so. And again, we're going to just snip there, and you want to make sure that the two ends touch, because otherwise your glitter will come out of there. Then I'm going to make a second piece down the bottom here, and that's just purely for adhesive to be on. I'm just going to make sure these two touch really well. Then I'm going to peel those pieces off, like this. And I always leave a piece back here on the top to remind me, so I just stick that on there roughly. And the next thing we want is our glitter piece, or our shimmer cardstock that we did earlier. So I'm going to start by sticking this on top. And I'm just going to hold this back for a second. So I'm just going to pop my little brush under there to hold it up. And here I have some different glitters. I think I'm going to go with the Lawn Fawn Chunky Glitter. So this is a new glitter from Lawn Fawn. And when you open it up, you'll see what I mean about chunky. It's got some really lovely shimmer, and it's got some nice big pieces in it. And I'm fairly generous with my glitter. You don't want to put too much on there. If you saw my top 5 tips with shaker cards, you'll know that you don't want it over full. Now we can take that piece off and stick it down, and you have your shaker. So you can see there how you can shake it backwards and forwards, tap it down, and you've got some lovely shimmer on there as well. So now let's put that onto our card base. So here I have pre-cut Winter from the new Neat and Tangled Hallow Winter die set. First of all, I'm going to stick this down though. I'm going to got some Elizabeth Craft tear tape. This is a really strong tear tape. I use their double-sided adhesive on the back of the shaker you saw earlier on. You can cut that into strips, or you can get it in the tape form. And you can probably hear the work we're still having done on the house, but it will be lovely and painted afterwards. And now we're ready to stick that onto our card base. I have half a piece of 8.5 by 11 cut lengthways folded into my card base. And let's open that up to mount it on. Like so. And to stick on my Winter, I'm going to be using my Zig glue pen. I recently got one of these, really happy with it. Gives you a nice bead. You can squeeze here as well, and it's got a nice grip on it as well. So I'm just going to add my glue pen onto the thicker parts. You can actually put it all over. And this is in 2 pieces, so we have the Wint, and then we have the ER that goes at the end. And so I'll pop that adhesive on there too. And now I'm ready to press that down. So I'm going to hold this down for a while, just until it's stuck. You can see on your screen right now some pictures that we took off the card and some close-ups. A full supply list is in the description below the video, plus of course on the blog where you can pin all of these pictures on Pinterest, or on the Hedgehog Hollow Pinterest page, which will be linked up there too. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you don't already, plus of course give us a thumbs up for the video. Thanks so much for joining me here today at Hedgehog Hollow, and I'll see you again very soon. Happy stamping! Bye!